Good morning, Abhishek. How are you?
Hey, hi Rakesh, I'm good. What about you?
Yeah, I'm good. Thank you. Can you tell us something about yourself?
My name is Abhishek. I started my IT journey in 2012 with TCS as a manual test engineer. I
Mm-hmm.
work in different domains like banking, retail,
Mm-hmm.
and even government ISS project also. And from that manual, I started my journey towards automation. I started with the Selenium tool. I also got a chance to work some little on UFT as well as API automation also.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and there on I'm continuing this journey as of now till I'm still in the same organization.
Mm-hmm. Okay, great. Okay, so you are doing manual plus automation testing over there, right?
Right.
Yeah. Can you tell us something about the automation framework and what is your contribution to the framework?
Okay. So the automation framework we are using is a TestNG based framework. We are using POM, page object model design pattern here, and so we are basically create the structure like we have a core framework classes. Then we have a folder which contains all our page object files,
Mm-hmm.
and we separated our data from our code. We separated all our what can say test data in Excel sheets, and we are using Apache POI to call that data. And we are taking screenshot, and all the screenshots we are just mapping with the timestamp. So all the test cases along with timestamp we're recording in the folder structure.
Mm-hmm.
And for reporting purpose, we are using extend report.
Okay, great. So, any specific utility that you have developed or any code that you have done and which is helpful to the QA team?
So this framework is basically I created this framework, this test
Okay,
injection. Previously, no framework was there, so I
great.
learned from different sources and just
Yeah.
accumulate all the things here. Yeah.
Oh, wow. That is so wonderful. So, how much time did you take to create this framework?
So since I was also new to the Selenium, I was also learning. So
Mm-hmm.
with the help of friends, so around I can say around 1.5 months it will take to enhance the framework continuously. First,
Mm-hmm.
I did a basic structure. Then we will implement the Excel-driven functionality. All the test cases we are driving from Excel.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how we can say. There is one more framework I worked on. It's after I moved to a different project. So they have an existing framework. It's a keyword-driven framework.
Okay,
Yeah. So that's one of the different framework I've worked.
right, right. Okay. Now, this is one of the aspects. Okay. Now, consider a scenario where you have to automate an image, which is there a part of your web application that you are testing. So, how will you
Mhm.
take care of the image automation via Selenium, or how will you automate it?
Image automate means to identify if image is there or somewhat
Yes, yes,
different.
yes, yes. Let's say if some particular image has been is to be captured, and you have to also
Mhm.
validate whether it's a proper image or not, and you can also check whether that image is there or not.
Okay, so we
Mhm.
can use SQL. If in
Correct.
that case, I haven't used that, but yeah, I know we can use SQL. We can
Okay.
integrate in our Selenium, and we can
Yes.
use this
Yes, yes, absolutely. That's the right
facility.
answer. Okay. How do you trigger your automation? How do you run the automation?
So we have a driver class.
Mm-hmm.
We have a driver class which contains the main method and all. And since the framework which I'm using is a TestNG framework, so we have defined all the browser launch and the report generation code and in the before test suite method. So based on those test engine notation, that the framework will get executed. And all the test cases I kept in our Excel.
Okay. So do you use any CI/CD tool to trigger, sorry, to trigger
Oh no,
automation?
not yet. I haven't got any chance to implement it.
Okay, no
But
issues.
I know there are multiple tools, Jenkins like that we can use.
Correct, correct. What is database seeding?
Database seeding.
Yeah, okay, no issues. So database seeding is nothing but it's a kind of an automated process that is executed
Uh-huh.
upon the initial setup of an application, and you will be injecting dummy data or necessary data via administrator account into the database to test how many records uh, can be taken care by the application, or what is the response of the application with respect to the number of records in the
Okay.
database, like that. It's also a part of, you can say, performance testing, right?
Okay.
You will see the response time while navigating from one page to another page with that much amount of seed data in the database, like that.
That's a new thing I learned.
Okay, great. Okay. Now, let's take an example again to that, coming to that question of image. Okay, you have already used Sikuli using that image to automate image. Now, if you have to take care of the systems in which you have to run the automation has a different resolution, then there are chances that that image automation might not work. So how will you handle such things?
Um, okay, so there is one tweak we can do is while launching our browser, we can set the browser size. We can fix the browser size based on desired capabilities, so
Mhm.
that whatever browser we launch, it will set on a default size, and the chances are very less that
Okay.
resolution will fail. Will it work
Yes, yes, definitely. So
with
initial
an
browser
environment?
size, you can set that
Right,
resolution, right? So over here we are making sure that the before the automation runs, the resolution is taken care, so that ultimately it will
right,
fail, right? Okay. Now you have joined from laptop, right?
right.
Yeah. Yeah. Can you write a Java program on, let's say there is a string, I love coding, and you have to print coding love I. You have to reverse that particular string. So can you write a Java program for same? Let me give you the screen sharing options, and then you can use Notepad, IntelliJ, Eclipse, anything is fine.
Okay.
Yes, screen is visible. Okay.
What is the string you said? Just mute it.
Let me send the string in this chat itself. You can take this string, I love coding. Let me send this in the chat itself. Yeah.
Okay, I guess this program will work.
Okay, can you explain the logic? Yeah.
Okay, so this is the string, we have this in the str variable. So what we are doing is we are delimiting this string using the space delimiter, and we are storing in a string set. Then based on its size, we are running a for loop, and we are printing them in the reverse order.
Correct, correct. Yeah. Okay. Now let's take a second Java program. Okay. So I am sending the question in the chat box. So you can copy paste from there into the notepad. Yeah. You are supposed to count the number of times the integer has already occurred in the array transfers in the array. Okay. And the array is, as you can see, 233, 200, 175, 200, 175, 3. Right. So you can copy paste this array on the screen so people can also see. Yeah. Yeah. This question also, if you can copy paste. Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
Yes. Yes, Abhishek.
I know the logic, but I don't know how to proceed it.
Okay, no issues. If you want, I can share my screen. Yeah, I can show it to you once. Just a second. Let me share my screen. Uh, right now, is the screen visible?
Yeah, I can see it.
Okay. Now, what you have to find is we are supposed to write a Java program to find the number of times the current integer has already occurred during the array traversal.
Right.
Okay. So this would be the input array that we have, right? Okay. Now over here, we can get two types of output. One is we can get, this is one of the output based on the array we take. It totally depends on the array input. Okay. Now this is the output that would come is basically, we can see 0, 1, 2. These are the three characters. Okay. Before the 0th index, 2 is encountered 0 times. Okay. So that will come first. And before the second index, 3 is encountered at index 1. So similarly, we have before the 7th index, 2 is occurred twice and so on. So this is how we are counting, as it's an array. So this will be starting from 0. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. So you can take you can take help of a hash map over here, right? So using hash map, we can actually achieve this. So let me show you the Java
Okay.
program, right? So first of all, what we would do is we would take one array integer, and we would also take one particular variable in which we will be storing the size of the array. What is the size of that particular array, right? Then we would be using hash map to keep the track of the frequencies, right? And then you can use for loop as you had used in the previous program, right? And then there are certain if conditions if the element is already present inside hash map. So what we would do is we would basically print it out, and then accordingly we would
Okay.
increment the frequency like that. Okay, and at the end we have a main method in which we would be using the get occurrences. Okay, so this is basically
Okay.
a program. Actually, you can get a hash map Similarly, you can get hash set or tree set also kind of programming questions in an interview.
Okay.
Okay, so this is fine. This is okay. Now, in your CV, no, it's mentioned that you are providing training. It's just
Right, right.
yeah.
Yeah. Uh, so we have multiple new joiners, and what's happening is every time we need to provide training to whatever person joined. So what we
Mhm,
did is we have created some video lectures on our
mhm,
applications. We created some module-wise video lecture. So whoever onboarded, we just provide directly to those. Then these
mhm.
video lectures, they will know what's all about the applications. Yeah,
Correct, correct.
they are very helpful. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. Now, what do you mean by proof of concept, POC?
In automation or in
Mhm,
general, proof of concept um, is like a sample of creation. So let's say if you want to automate a complete application for a client,
mhm,
right? But how the client gets confidence that you are capable, or whatever the technology or tools you are going to use, they are well equipped with automating that application. So what we are doing is we will take a very small set of functionality and
mhm,
we will automate it, or whatever the domain we are. So in terms of test automation, we will, let's say we have a big application, banking application, we will uh, just automate a simple onboarding process, and we will show to the client that yeah, whatever tools we are using it, we are able to automate it, and what is the ROI you are getting if you are implementing this complete automation.
right,
So we'll
right.
present this to the client, and if they agree, we'll proceed with our further.
Mhm. Okay. Okay, now let me share my screen. Um, Let's say you are supposed to automate this particular website. Okay, this is an Axis Bank internet banking website. Okay. Now, how will you automate this particular website? What would be your approach? Which framework will you use to make sure that you achieve more and more testing coverage by automation?
Okay, so so what I have observed till now for applications or what which requires a huge set of repetitive test cases,
Correct.
right? So a hybrid approach will be the best,
Mm-hmm.
where we are sometimes using a keyword plus our data combined,
Mm-hmm.
and so I will choose a hybrid framework for automating this banking application, since it takes a huge lot of test cases,
Right,
lot of
right.
scripts.
Okay. And hybrid framework. So can you elaborate what would be the test data, where you would be storing it, and any
So
API?
right. So there are two approaches. We can either store our data in each sets of classes. So since we are using, we can be using POM, but it's better we are using all our locators as well as all our test data in Excel sheet.
Mhm.
So whoever working on the team, they will be they don't have to go into the code to modify any XPath or any of the locators, or in case any new changes will come, we don't have to go to the code every time just for
Mhm.
data change. That's
Mhm.
what should be the approach.
Correct. Now consider a scenario where you have a team of 5 members, right? Now you are supposed to allocate them the manual testing as well as automation task. And this is a new user story that has just got developed in this sprint, right? So how will
Mhm.
you assign the task to them? To which all members will you assign manual, or to which all members you will assign automation task? How, what would be your approach?
Okay, since this is a new functionality,
New
right? So we are
functionality
not
in
sure
this.
if
Yeah.
right.
Please
So
go.
we are not sure if it's stable or not.
Correct,
So
correct.
it's there is no point in starting the automation directly. So it's so better. What we do is we will assign all the teams members to
Absolutely.
start first with the manual testing. Okay.
Mm,
Then once we are pretty or somewhat stable, let's say uh, in the next sprint or then minus finish the sprint,
mm, mm,
we already got the stable version of this functionality. So we can allocate some of the members here for 30 to 40% of the team member, like two testers, we can allocate to automate the previous functionality, which is now pretty much stable. So that's the approach we can follow.
Right. So in the next sprint onwards, you will be taking the automation in the
Right.
into the picture. Okay, this is correct answer. Absolutely. So if it's a first user story that has been delivered into this particular current sprint, so there are
Right.
chances that this might not be stable. So no need to target automation on this. We can focus on manual testing as of now. In the next sprint, we would be going for automation. Okay. Now, can you tell me the non-functional test scenarios for this website? How will you test performance testing? Yeah, load stress testing for this website.
I haven't tried that, but
Yeah,
so
no
what
issues.
we
You
can
can.
do is,
Yeah.
So what we can do is, let's say from automation perspective, we can launch 10 or multiple parallel instances at the same time for
Mm.
this Axis Bank website, and we will try to log in simultaneously with multiple dummy users, and we will see if that login is happening through, and if the site is not crashing. So that's one way we can test
Mm-hmm.
this performance of this site, and so that's one thing. Multiple sessions we can open. Then yeah, what we can do is we will create a set of test data. Okay, then using this uh, uh, data provider, right? Using
Mm-hmm.
the data provider, what we can do is we can hit a test run, and we will see that uh, within a very less span of time, we are able to log in and log out a user, multiple sets of users for this Access Bank website. So we can test like this,
Mm.
multiple users and multiple users at the same time, how the our application is behaving.
Okay. So this was via automation, the approach that you mentioned. Now,
Right.
what if it's a manual testing project only, and you are supposed to test it manually? Any tool or any technology that you will use to inject users or test with multiple users?
So there is a JMeter. There are
Correct.
multiple tools are there in the
Mm-hmm.
market.
Yeah.
Yeah, through which we can do non-functional testing. I haven't done it, but yeah,
Okay.
tools are there which
No
we can
issue.
use. Multiple
But
teams are there who are doing it. Yeah.
yeah, but you were able to figure out that it's a JMeter thing that can provide the solution.
Right.
Yeah, that's good. Even if you have not used it, but still in the JMeter, you will be capturing this request of login ID and password. And in JMeter, there is a feature where you can provide the data set or the Excel file configuration with multiple parameters of username and password. Sorry, multiple values in username and password parameter, right? And then you can run the request, and the JMeter will try to log in with each particular various request with various username and password. So that's a good thing. You can also keep assertion over there as a checkpoint, as we are keeping in Selenium,
Right.
that whether you are getting in a response 200 okay or not, like that you can keep. Okay. Now, can you tell me the security testing test cases for this particular website?
Security testing. So the first thing we can test is whether SQL injection is not allowed in this website. So
Mm-hmm.
there is a possibility that so we have tried SQL injection on multiple websites. Some websites are vulnerable, so a user can do SQL injection through URL itself and can extract the DB password, username password. So first thing we'll mention that it's injection protected, and coming to the security, we can verify that whatever the password users are entering, it's completely hidden. No one is allowed to see that password. Okay. Then the another test case we can see is once a user gets logged out and all the cookies are cleared, uh, the second time any person is logged into the browser, is not able to access his account. So those are some of the things we can validate regarding this authentication issues. So proper cookies and everything is set. And one more thing, in some cases, we have the banks give this functionality to remember our user ID. So we'll
Mm-hmm.
make sure that they are just remembering the user ID and not the passwords.
Password actually.
Those things, yeah, those things we can validate
Got
security wise.
it. So this looks good. Okay, Abhishek, I'm done with the interview. Do you have any questions for me?
No, no, Rakesh, I'm good.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you so much, Abhishek. It was nice talking to you. Have a nice day and all the best for your career.
Thanks.